Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Hacker Slash. If you're joining us again, welcome back. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the party. My name is Chris. I am your friendly neighborhood slasher enthusiast, and today I'm joined by the classic horror connoisseur, Sean.
Bet you squeal like a pig.
And the paranormal paramour, Binks.
Well, I just look like I fuck, you know?
Welcome and happy Summerween, folks. We are here in our Summerween extravaganza. And today, while we are normally here to review horror movies, today we're really just drafting them, we're picking them, and we're going to select the finest list of the best summer horror movies. Binks, Sean, a question for you before we begin. When you think of how to define a summer horror movie, what would that be?
I mean, I think of a summer horror movie, you want the vibe of summer in some way. You either want to feel like you're in the heat, you want to feel like you've got like some kind of a summer activity going on, whether you may be at like a camp or maybe you're out in the ocean or, you know, maybe at a lake or something like that. Most of the time you also want to be, I guess it's a little bit difficult because they're not all like this, but you also think of like, are you going to be taking place like in the daytime versus the nighttime? Are we going to have that kind of flip? You know, it's not very consistent, I would say, with summer horror, but the ones that do it well.
It's true. Yeah, I think that heat is the key word. It should look like it's sweating, like you're literally falling apart out there in that smoldering heat. Now, I mean, water also, I think that that's another bit to it. I mean, summer could also be in places where there is no water, duh. So I just think of like grimy, sweaty action.
By your definition, I feel like if I watched the movie and could smell BO, then it's a summer horror movie. And that's just not the kind of hot girl summer I want to have. When I think of summer, I think of camping, cabins, lake, adventures. If Ryan were here, she would say water sports. You know, like a lot of the wet stuff. I'm not here for the hot, sweaty, salty stuff, like the kind where if you look at this, you can see like the pit stains on people. That's not my jam. But if you actually listen to our Summerween starter pack, Sean and I went through a whole process of trying to define what a summer horror movie is. And we even gave some good recommendations for like a starter pack through different criteria, through different categories. We talked about road trip horror, vacations gone wrong, coming of age stories, etc. But tonight, what we've done is actually compiled some of the best horror movies that take place or are adjacent to summer. And we've divided this into a few different rounds. Round one, we're going to be picking and drafting our favorite horror movie of this category by the heavy hitters. So think of the heavy hitters as the big obvious ones that everyone thinks of when you think of summer horror movies for one way or another. Round two, going to be happy campers. Those are the movies that take place at a camp or comparable location, so cabin rentals, etc. Number three is going to be wet and wild. Then we have deep cuts, so that's going to be the summer horror movies that are a little bit more obscure, maybe the ones you haven't heard of as often. Then our next round is going to be the modern era, so anything 2015 and later. And then we're going to have a wild card round to sweep up what's left on the board. Now, the way this is going to work, we're going to go round by round. Binks is going to randomize and then take control of our turn order throughout the episode. And we're each going to have one opportunity to pick one movie and give a little spiel on why we're selecting that specific movie. And then as we advance, at the end of it, we're going to have essentially a list of 18 movies. Each of us will have one pick apiece for each category. And then our Discord community is going to vote on which total lineup is the best. So my ranking versus Sean's ranking versus Binks's ranking. And together, we'll all be one big happy family, breaking down to the definitive list. Now, it's going to get a little fierce. I have a feeling, especially thinking about some of Binks' commentary. We might be arguing about who's picking some of these movies, but we've tried to pad the body count a little bit to give us plenty to work with. The big question here is, are you ready?
We're just going to have to give it a go and see what happens.
Listen, I don't know how well I do under pressure. I'm not going to front, so I'm a little scared, but I'm going to do my best. And that's all I can do.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get this started then. Before we actually dive into round one, Binks, can you go ahead and set our turn order? So this should be randomized with our names.
Yes. So I actually pulled up a random generator and...
Nice.
Very scientific. If Binks wins, we know it's because of this. She rigged it.
No. it says that Sean will be first, actually. And then Sean is first, I'm second, and Chris, you're third.
Fantastic. I want you to also know that there is a level that you can approach a draft where one, there's a lot of prep, or two, you're fucking just winging it. On the scale of winging it to prepping, I'm completely fucking winging it. I built this database earlier and I haven't thought about it a single time since.
I too am winging it. I just got home from work, hoofed down some dinner. I didn't even know what the rules were until I sat down tonight. So we're going for it.
And then there's me, who has a notebook here with her selections and options.
Binks has been studying for a week.
I've been studying since I had checked in with Chris this morning and was like, hey, is this allowed? Could I maybe just...
Is there a steal a vote?
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking about a steal a vote mechanic, but I thought maybe that would be a little bit much. It's going to be like the White Elephant games. I just keep on fucking going and going and going and going and going. But here we go. We're going to jump in to round one, the heavy hitters. So I have actually pulled this all up here. And the way that this will work for our listener or viewer watching at home, if you are listening to this on audio, don't worry, there's a video version. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can watch that now, or go to the link in the description and there will be the actual video on YouTube. But Sean, the time is yours for our heavy hitters round. You get first pick to drag your movie to your name.
First pick. Man, heavy hitters, heavy hitters. There's a lot of good choices here. I'm going to go with what I think is going to be very true to me. And we're just going to go ahead and put Evil Dead 2 right there. Listen, it may not be the most daylight of horror movies for summer, but when you look at the list, everyone knows I'm not the biggest Jaws fan. I respect what it did. Not the biggest Jaws fan. I think I'm also got to make a list of my top choices, and Evil Dead 2, it fits the vibe of being in a, cabin in the woods environment. You've got all the fun kind of deadites. You've got a little bit sillier than the first one, a little bit more campy, is full of one-liners. It is it's a great horror movie for any time of the year, including the summer.
I think no one is surprised.
Not a shock. It
is a pretty good selection. I mean, not what I thought you would pick until I realized that Evil Dead was already on the heavy hitters option, which so fair. Okay, moment of truth. I gave myself options, and now I'm at a point where now I have to kind of decide between these options. I'm going to go with I Know What You Did Last Summer. I feel like it's pretty much a no-brainer on that one. I mean, not only in the title, y'all, but just like the epitome of 4th of July vibes. It's the peak of summer. It's in the title. It's in the moment. There's just enough heat and just enough wet and just plenty of, sex and slash. It's perfect. It's the perfect summer.
I mean, you can't argue with the fact that summer is in the title. It is a slasher. Summer's in the title. It takes place in summer. Come on.
I'm just saying.
It's not a bad pick. You also do have the luxury of having Sarah Michelle Gellar, so that's sick. Well, we have some big ones left so far, and I think a lot of these will actually be still on the board as we go later. Now, I'm torn because I have a specific strategy, and by I said no prep, I mean I'm just going to pick the movies that I like, and I feel like I'm going to go against my instinct here to go with a movie that I like, and I'm actually going to select a movie that I hacked when we reviewed it on the podcast. That is Friday the 13th, 1980. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, wow.
One, how the fuck can you get with a summer movie without it being a Friday the 13th movie? And I recognize that when we get to Happy Campers here, then there's some options, and maybe I'll regret this choice later. But Friday the 13th absolutely kicked off its own franchise. And while I think a lot of what's best about this franchise is yet to come, I do have a tremendous amount of respect for Pamela Voorhees. And we're also getting the Crystal Lake series later this year, which we will be doing episodes on to review, which I'm really excited about. So I feel very confident in taking this off the board right now just to get it out of the way. So that means that our heavy hitters are locked in, as I Know What You Did Last Summer, Evil Dead 2, and Friday the 13th. Are we ready for round two?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's do it. Go ahead again, Chris.
Oh, I go again? Fantastic.
Oh, you
Okay.
get first pick.
Yeah.
Let's see what you follow up with.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So, fuck. I really thought you would have picked better movies. That is such a shame. That is such a shame. Now, I could go with another obvious choice here and go with a regular Friday the 13th movie. But I think what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go with Sleepaway Camp 1983 because, of course, I'm a hoe for a slasher. And Sleepaway Camp is iconic. It's one of the pivotal summer camp horror movies. Again, whereas Friday the 13th got better as a franchise went, I think Sleepaway Camp got worse. So I think the franchise really peaked in this entry. And Angela Baker is just an icon and a legend. You can't have summer without her.
That's fair. That's fair. Everyone loves Sleepaway Camp. I mean, how can you go wrong? I mean, you got two really solid ones right here.
It was my pick, Chris. That was my
Oh,
pick.
nice.
Yeah, I have a type.
You killed me with that one because Sleepaway
No
Camp
way.
fully shook me to my core.
I want you to
Alright,
know
that's
that
fine.
I went into this expecting to have picked one or two others. I don't know why my third pick is now my first pick in this category, but that's what
That's
you get
fair.
for not planning.
Wow.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, my turn. And now that you've kind of shaken me a little bit, let me take a quick peek. I have something planned, but I want to make sure that maybe I go and I pivot. No, I'm going to stick to what I know. And what I know is something that's going to be a little unconventional, I think, but it's going to favor for the crowd overall. And it's Adam's Family Values. And here's why. Okay. Adam's Family Values is basically the blueprint to a lot of us. Okay. Wednesday Addams, my queen, my icon, and my legend. She goes to summer camp. We all know the scene. I don't need to go further. It's chaos and it's great. It's horror adjacent, but like dark comedy. You grew up with it. You love it. It's summer. And I mic drop with that.
I always forget that there's the summer. I don't know why I always forget that there's the summer camp scene or whatever in this movie because I'm like, what is summer about the Addams family? But, it makes sense. It makes sense.
You're thinking of it as Thanksgiving. That's why.
That's true. Maybe
I also want to point out how obvious it is that Banks would pick Adam's Family Values when she, in fact, looks like a Wednesday Addams.
That's the greatest compliment anyone could give me. I don't even have my Wednesday Addams cup with me right now. I have a glass of wine. It's getting crazy. All right.
Oh my gosh.
That being said, it's your turn, Sean. What's it going to be?
Such a tough choice. Such a tough choice. Oddly, more choices in this category than we have for heavy hitters. But I guess that seems fair. That seems fair. We're thinking of happy campers. So what I would say is I'm actually going to pick a Friday the 13th movie. And I'm going to pick Jason Lives. I'm going to put Jason Lives in here for a couple of reasons. It's one of my favorite ones in the franchise for sure. It leans more into that self-aware humor. It has a stronger sense of style and pacing. I think it also gives us Jason in his classic zombie-like undead form. And I think it also is the point in the series where it found its most entertaining tone.
I mean, that's one way to put it. Entertaining tone. Okay.
I'm honestly just excited that there is another Friday the 13th movie on the board. Not the one that I thought I would have picked. I would have probably leaned with Friday the 13th Part 3, but I also know you do love Jason Lives. I respect it. Okay.
On you go again for the next round.
Our next round is Wet and Wild.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Wet and Wild. It is tough only doing one of these. There's so many to choose from in some of these categories. Man. I guess we're just going to stick with what feels very true to form. And I'm going to go ahead and throw Lake Placid up here. As somebody, infamously doesn't really care to throw a Jaws movie on during the summer, I will throw Lake Placid on. And I will say, Lake Placid is one of those movies that was super entertaining. It was another, if we're not fitting a common theme here, it's got this kind of dark humor, self-awareness about it. It has some cheeky one-liners. It's got some really fun characters. And you just sub out Jaws for a giant alligator, And what could be better than that?
I can respect that. I like the creature feature of it all.
That's pretty good. But funny that you say the creature feature of it all because it's my turn next. And, my pick is definitely going to be another creature feature, all right. I'm going to go with I'm not going to say the only movie that I know in this list, but the one that I think I gravitate towards the most, and that's Anaconda 1997.
Oh, so
Okay.
worried.
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know, but
Oh, the obvious one? I know. And I thought about it, and I thought about it just for a second, and here's why. Because I also want to win. But here's the thing, I have faith about the vibe that I'm curating here. So far, I've got 90s, and I'm talking fucking 90s shit going on right now, okay? All right? The shit that you like walked into your grandparents' house and suddenly they had that on the TV and you're sitting on the couch. Next thing you know,
You know, it's funny. They actually made a Lake Placid versus Anaconda TV movie.
look at what we're doing here. Look at what we're making. Magic. Movie magic right now. All right? I don't need to get into why Anaconda's even on this list and why it needs to be appreciated. It's got our 90s icons, J-Lo mainly, all right? Okay? And it's a giant fucking snake. You were terrified of snakes after the fact. I don't fuck around in a rainforest anymore, even if I wanted to. Rainforest Cafe is even off limits. This is where it's at. This is summer. I think I've got something here.
wow. You know, I hear Anaconda and all I can think of is my Anaconda don't want none unless got buns, hun. But what I am going to do is, speaking of 90s icons, I'm going to take a big one off the board that I cannot believe you didn't pick, but I'm okay with that. And this one goes out to all my LL Cool J lovers in the world. We have Deep Blue Sea from 1999. Does it fucking take place in summer? Probably not. Doesn't fucking matter because it's got sharks. And sharks,
Doesn't
nothing
matter.
says summer like a good fucking shark movie. And nothing says scientific overreach better than Deep Blue Sea, quite frankly. You have Samuel L. Jackson. You have LL Cool J. You have smart-ass sharks. I mean, there's just, honestly, this movie is fucking fun. And we're reviewing it this month on the podcast. So, you know what? I think Darling It's Better, Down Where It's Wetter, and it's really fucking wet in Deep Blue Sea.
I'm here for that. That was another one that you definitely had on in your grandparents' house, just strolling in. So that was a good pick. We got some good ones on this round.
We got some good ones, but I'm also fucking shocked that nobody took a Jaws movie. Jaws 3D might have been there for me. What I also might have to do is like make this an option for other people to curate their own list from.
I'd be down for that. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Okay, so our next round goes to the deep cuts. So these are these more obscure movies, maybe ones that don't have the same illustrious box office appeal as the others. But this is the time to really shine a spotlight on the hidden gems.
Perfect. Well, Chris, go ahead and shine that spotlight because it's your turn again.
Fuck, I should have prepared for this better. Okay, so my instinct goes to a couple different places, and I want to go to movies that maybe don't get the credit that they deserve. You might look at this and think Summer of '84 because I keep talking about what a great action adventure coming of age tale that is. But there's also Uncle Sam from the '90s. There's also Tourist Trap from 1979. And then when I tell you that movie is fucking weird, but also so fun.
It's weird.
It is a great movie, a great antagonist. He is spooky as fuck looking. It's almost like House of Wax meets Phantom of the Opera, if you can imagine those two kind of blending together. This is one that one of our patrons recommended and talked about all the time in our Discord about how she watches this with her mom. A really like a good fan favorite. And I have not really met many people in my own life. I obviously know a lot of people fucking know this movie. I haven't met a lot of people that I know who know about what Tourist Trap is. And I think as much as I can evangelize what a great pre-80s movie this is, I'm here for it.
I'm with Tourist Trap. I think that's a good solid pick for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that one. I'm surprised. I mean, I've obviously heard of it, but I haven't watched it, which is so bizarre because there's definitely a movie that we're going to be talking about soon. Hopefully I do like it. So we'll see. Man, I'm not going to lie. This one is a tough one for me. I did have one written down, but I'm looking at the other options and I'm thinking this is another opportunity for me to pivot. You did say Summer of '84, and that was going to be my pick because I do think that that's a fun one, you know? But I'm also, again, thinking back to my youth, you know? I'm thinking back again to those days where I had summer camp and I was just being debaucherous in Hylia. And another movie that I watched, and I can't believe that I did, and I faintly freaking remember it, is Piranha. So I'm going to pick Piranha. I think that it's not, I mean, is it a deep cut? I don't know. Maybe it gets lost in the sauce because of Jaws, but something about Piranha truthfully terrified me as a kid. And I'm really scared of those damn little fish. They look real cute at a good distance, but hell to the nah.
I'm shocked you're going Piranha and not, and the 1995 one, not even the original one from the 70s, and also not Piranha 3 Double D.
Oh, no, because never, no. I'm not insane. 1995 is the one that I remember as a kid watching. I mean, it should be the original if I was going to be a real class act, but I'm being crazy. I'm being crazy with my pick on this one.
I also believe the 90s one was made for TV.
Yes. Yeah, I'm telling you, I would literally show up to my grandparents. That's the vibe, and that's what I'm thinking of. This entire, not all of my picks, but a lot of it is like I rolled up from summer camp, got to my grandparents' house. What was my grandfather watching? Piranha. By the way,
1995.
And obviously it was like the Spanish dubbed version.
Nice.
Like,
How do you say piranha in Spanish?
God, I don't even know. Let me look that up.
Piranha.
Piranha. Yeah.
No, I'm bullshitting you. Don't fucking listen to me. No, it's not actually that. I was just talking shit.
I'm gonna look it up really quick. Piranha.
Cosplay is someone my ancestors would be proud of.
Oh my God. That was
Oh
incredible.
my gosh.
But there you have it. That's my pick. Sean,
right.
Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. Deep cuts. All right. I'm going to go with one I don't think a lot of people have watched. It's not an older movie, but I'm going to go ahead and throw The Beach House up here. I'm going to throw The Beach House up here because I don't know. This is one where I feel like, you know, it was barely a theatrical release. It was very, very low in the box office. I think it is still flying under a lot of horror fans' radar. It's this cosmic kind of horror on this like quiet coastal vacation to a beach house. It gives you something, I think, just a little bit more obscure. It's definitely, yeah, it's got some Lovecraftian undertones to it. It makes the ocean and the coastline the actual source of dread in the movie. And it's, you know, it can be kind of a slow burn, but it fits the vibe for a horror movie and, you know, a summer horror movie so well. And I think it's just something that most people wouldn't think of. So I think if you're trying to build a list, this is one that you definitely want to throw in there as one of the deep cuts.
You know, I was going to say when I was looking at this list earlier that one caught my eye because I haven't seen it. I don't even think I'm not familiar with that movie at all. So I'm definitely going to check that one out too.
All right. Well, we have The Beach House, not to be confused with Sean's other movie, The Deep House. We have La Piranha. We have Tourist Trap. And now it's time to move into our next round, which is the modern era. So these are films that are from 2015 and later. And obviously, as you may have seen in the Happy Campers round and now in this modern one, Sean already has a pick on the board. That's because that movie was eligible across multiple categories. Sean does still get a pick here.
My gosh. The modern era. Let's see. What can we throw in there from the modern era? Summer horror movies. What feels right? I'm going to put this up here. Somebody might get mad. I don't know.
Oh my
Somebody
God.
might get mad.
Oh my God.
Somebody might get mad.
Oh my God.
I'm going to put It Chapter 1 on here. You have to put It Chapter 1 here. As a modern era, it is literally a coming of age story. It's summer, it's kids coming together, banding together. Out of the two, it is a brilliant movie. It's a fantastic film, and it can't go unnoticed. So for the modern era, that's what I'm putting in.
I want to stab myself because literally, if I could, I'm not going to show my notebook because you're not going to be able to see it. But like my first pick, my round one draft, like first pick was It Chapter 1. And I thought to myself, maybe I can buy myself some time and I could have both. And that's what I get, right? That's what I get.
Oh, see, I thought this was going to be somebody's heavy hitter.
Yeah, it was going to be mine. And then I decided to change it up like an idiot, but it's fine. That's what I get.
I fully thought it was going to go in the first round.
Me too.
What's
Wow.
on? Okay, well, now it's my turn and now I want to cry. In all honesty,
Well, y'all liked Barbarian, right? You guys can pick Barbarian.
I-
You guys all loved Barbarian.
you're being savage. You're being savage. Now Sean's come to play. The game's almost over, and now he's come to play. I see you.
See, now this
That's
makes me wish we
crazy.
had picked 2 movies per category. I feel like Sean's just getting heated up.
He's getting heated up now. Now he gets the game. Now he's settled in. That's crazy. Okay, so the thing is that this also, when in general, just has a lot of really good options. You took the one I wanted. That's fine. The other one that I want is not on here. That's fine. Oh, well, not on here. It's just not an option because it's not modern, and I refuse. Absolutely refuse. And I'm talking about you, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022. I would do a lot of other things rather than pick you. Sorry, but no. Oh, same goes for you, Infinity Pool. Absolutely not. My opening quote was from this movie. So I feel like it's only right. It's a Florida vibe, hurricane season, a good comedy in the mix, a good laugh, great social commentary. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's bodies, bodies, bodies. Okay, we're changing it up. We're getting a good laugh. We're taking the 90s vibes and then showing us the product of those 90s vibes. We've got the youth. And they can be a little annoying, but they are, God damn it, they are pretty funny. They are pretty funny. And it's the summer. Again, hurricane season, and it's very relatable, especially if you're in, the hurricane area. So
100%.
so there you go. It's going to be that one. I'm sure I'm going to have some regrets, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm low key about to pull a Binks and change up my
No
actual
regrets.
pick. No regrets.
Not even one letter.
There are 3 different movies on here that I am really, really latched onto, and we only have one more round. So I have to narrow it down. And it guts me to do this because all 3 of these are movies that I absolutely fucking want on the list. And it makes me, again, in retrospect, I wish we had done 2 rounds, but here we go. I am going to throw in and hope that the other one comes back later. X from 2022. Because this movie was another
Solid.
Ty West masterclass in making a period piece. And Jenna Ortega in a different kind of role than we typically see. Brittany Snow, incredible performance. Kid Cudi, I didn't even know I liked Kid Cudi until I saw this movie. I don't typically care for all that Mia Goth does. It is absolutely undeniable that her dual performance in this film is something to behold. It's not Pearl, it's not Save a Horse, Ride a Scarecrow. But what this movie does is, I think, master the sweltering summer heat and make it a little sexy versus just being gross. So I stand and rest my case with X from the modern era, which actually takes us. So we have X 2022. We have It Chapter 1, stolen by Sean. And we have Bonnie's Bodies for some inexplicable reason from Binks. Now let's go over to our wild card round. Blessed be, because I could not live if I didn't have Fear Street's 1978 in. Now, when I think of summer and I think of summer camps, that is like the angle that I love. Fear Street Part 2 was an incredible entry in that franchise. B, such a brutal look at not only summer camp horror, but summer camp horror that actually delivers on the promise of pain against children. And I hate that. I don't love that. I don't want to see kids get really wrecked. But this movie did it really fucking well. And Sadie Sink had an incredible performance in this. This really anchored in like the emotional core of what that franchise was supposed to be. Different types and different levels of love, while also being a really fucking good summer horror movie.
You can't argue with that. Fear Street Part 2, such a good installment. I mean, just the whole trilogy was fantastic. But Fear Street Part 2 specifically, chef's kiss.
Okay, well, I'm surprised that Fear Street didn't go in earlier, but that's fine. I'm going to go with, gosh, there are a lot of wildcard options. There are a lot of them. Okay. And I really went into this particular round feeling really like strong in my conviction and my choice. But suddenly I'm second guessing myself because we've got some crazy ones in here. We do have, let's see. I mean, Okay, Hostel is one that I brought up because although that movie, debatable on my thoughts and feelings, but that aside, it's hot, it's a road trip summer situation, and it's a quite fucking big nightmare. But then we also have House of Wax, okay, which really been my pick, I think. But I don't know. I'm still mulling it over. House of Wax is another one that's real hot, real great. Is it set in the summer? I mean, it's giving the vibe they're going to a football game. So that's not typically in the summer season, but it's getting hot. But then we did talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I do see that the OG might have been here as an option. So do I go for it? I think I'm gonna say fuck it, and I am. I'm gonna go with the
Nice.
original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm going for it. All right, I'm going
Nice.
for it because it's just who I am as a person, and I think that it's who we all are. We're all fans of Leatherface, and there's something about the grit and the color of the original that gives sweltering heat. Okay, it's giving
Gritty, grimy.
gritty, grimy. We shouldn't be here. We need to hydrate. We're about to get fucked. Okay, and not in the way that we like. And I think
Not in
that
the X way.
not in the X way. We're not even going to get paid. So I just feel like that's the move. I'm going to stick with it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And this is also a lesson because I had it earlier as a potential option. You took it chapter 1 away from me. And I can't, I just I have to be tried and true about my selection here and not let
Hey,
something
it's
else.
fair.
Yeah, no, I can't let something else be slipping away.
Totally fair.
Okay, what's your pick here, Sean?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think through it. I think I'm also this is going to be interesting because I'm also going to go with what my quote was for this opener tonight. And I am going to put Deliverance in here as the wild card option. It's technically not considered a horror movie. It's not billed as a horror movie, but I think the things that it does specifically, it hits so many horror beats that I feel like it earns its spot, especially for a summer horror movie. It's got your nature trip gone wrong. It has the real unglamorized dread of what's happening in this. There are some really hard things to watch. You've got that grimy, gritty, backwoodsy feel. There's the infamous squeal like a pig scene, which is where the quote came from. Man versus nature versus man of it all. It is definitely something that I think is a great wild card spot for a summer horror movie watch list.
I love that. Have never seen it. And in fact, when I was looking up the movie posters for these movies, I thought, wow, I can't imagine a moment in which it would have ever been on my radar, except for you, Sean. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. Now, as it stands right now, we're going to break this down. Here's our list. We have, for me, Deep Blue Sea, 1999, Fear Street Part 2, 1978, Friday the 13th, 1980, Sleepaway Camp, 1983, Tourist Trap, 1979, and X from 2022. Binks has Addams Family Values, Anaconda, Bodies, 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 I Know What You Did Last Summer, the original, Piranha, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Sean has Deliverance, 1972, Evil Dead 2, 1987, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, It, Chapter 1, Lake Placid, and The Beach House. And listen, I know that I've been debating this back and forth all this fucking night, but I think there are too many damn good movies left on the board. I think we gotta go one more round. Y'all game?
One more round.
One more round. Let's go.
One
Heavy
more
hitters.
round.
Whose turn is it, Binks?
That means that it would be Sean again.
Back to heavy hitters. Okay, well this one's easy for me. I'm putting the Lost Boys right in there. I was debating on putting it the first time around, but I couldn't pass on Evil Dead 2. I brought this up in the Summerween kickoff episode. If y'all remember, the Lost Boys is something that I feel like it just gives you the same type of vibes. You still have this coming of age story with these kids. You've got vampires. You've got a coastal beach community. You've got the sweaty, naked saxophone player. I mean, what screams summer horror than a shirtless, sweaty saxophone player? I don't know.
Greased up sax guy.
The greased up sax guy. Come on.
Apparently nothing. Apparently nothing. So
I still believe.
listen, I love Lost Boys. That's a good one. That's a good one. Boy, oh boy. Well, all my picks on this one are gone. I'm going to do something crazy. Maybe this is going to be something that none of you will expect. And I'm going to go with the original Evil Dead.
No way.
I am. And you know what? And you know fucking what? Why?
Why?
Because it's my favorite of all of them, I think. And so if I'm going to pick
On a
an Evil
bar
Dead
that's so low.
on a bar that's low, but it's not that low anymore. Listen, I've grown. I've rewatched this movie like twice now, and I like it a lot. As it turns out, we've fucking changed. We've changed opinions in this house, actually. So I'm gonna go with the original. I mean, you said why it should be Evil Dead. I don't even think I need to pitch anything, right? Like,
I fully expected the words out of your mouth when you said, and you know why? Because of It Chapter 1. I thought that was the thing where you were going to go. I thought it was going to be petty retribution.
damn, Chris, don't call me out like that. But actually, yeah, there's also that.
Okay, so I have a few options here. I'm not going to go Jaws because I'm fucking good, thanks. But what I am going to do is go Midsommar because nothing says hot girl summer like dumping and murdering your shitty ex-boyfriend. I don't think I need to say more about that.
True.
Florence Pugh, I love you so much. Great job in that movie. That movie is a bummer of a fucking time, and I will probably never watch it again. But everyone needs to watch it at least once.
Hey, it's one of those summer horror movies that is like all about the daylight. A lot of horrific shit happening in the daytime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that takes us over to round 2. So, okay. We have some good options here. Happy Campers. I'm going to go The Burning, 1981, for a young Jason Alexander. Not a great reason to remember that movie, but if you want to have a little chuckle seeing young George Costanza with hair, go for it. But the canoe scene, absolutely incredible. This movie really takes the idea and the concept of the urban legend Cropsey and puts it in a whole new light. I dare say that this is actually a better summer camp slasher than the original Friday the 13th, which means I probably should have picked this first, but fuck it. We're out here.
You kind of sold me with that George Costanza with hair. I need to watch that. What am I doing? That's kind of incredible. All right. Okay. My turn. Not going to lie. Options here. They're looking rough and historically not in my favor because I've either never seen these movies. So I having a tough time really pitching there, and I would go straight off of name vibes. You know, I'd be going straight off of the fucking vibes. Or these are movies that I don't like, famously.
Watch her triple down with the original Piranha.
Yeah, I'm doubling down on both Piranhas. How about that? No, I also am trying to change it up a little bit. But I mean, what am I going to do? Pick in a violent nature? I think I'd rather gouge my eyes out with a pen. I feel like that can't be done. Fuck it. I'm going to pick a movie, though, that I wasn't super all that mad about. You know, this was a good time. It's a more recent one. And I'm going to do it for the Finn Wolfhard because we do know that I love Stranger Things. And I'm going to pick Hell of a Summer. Here's my pitch on this, okay? Again, summer in the name, duh. Literally a happy camper fucking movie, duh. But we've got 2 young directors, debut film. Stranger Things is a summer show, quite literally. You know, in some seasons, no, but most of them, yes. And so I just feel like there's a lot of summer, even in the production, okay? Like even in the background of this movie. And so you could even like mix up a little bit more of a recent film in my list, right? If you were to binge all of them. So that's my pick. I'm going to go with Hell of a Summer. Fuck it.
I am so happy because this movie deserved to be picked somewhere.
Yeah, it was. It was a hell of a summer, huh?
It was one hell of a summer. Man, Happy Campers. You know, I'm gonna go with an older one, naturally. You know, because I want to put stuff on here that I think, you know, I don't know. I guess maybe the goal is that we get the popular vote here, but maybe people will just respect it. I'm gonna put Just Before Dawn on here. Just Before Dawn is it's when you think of a happy camper summer horror movie, this one is definitely one that should catch your eye. It's got the backwoods camping, kind of trip slasher thing. It's done with some really great craft. I think it's the location in the Pacific Northwest. You've got the young people in the woods. It's atmospheric. It's just got a genuinely great unsettling villain. It also subverts the slasher formula, if you will, with this final girl that we get, and it just builds a lot of like slow build tension. It's a really good, if you're like in the backwoods kind of camp horror movie. So I'm going to go with Just Before Dawn, 1981.
All right. So that gives us Just Before Dawn, 1981 for Sean, Hell of a Summer for Binks, and The Burning for me. And Sean, I think you get to kick it off for the Wet and Wild round again.
Wet and Wild. Man, okay.
I love that with this view, we can already see that your list as is pretty fucking wet.
It's pretty soaking.
Actually, you know what? I've got it. I'm going to put The Shallows on this list. I hope people have seen this movie. When you think of Wet and Wild, ocean horror, this is a great one. Fits the criteria of open water so well. I think it is just I don't know, it gives you a leaner, tighter argument than maybe Jaws without repeating it. Like, it's a shark movie. It's done very, very well. It's also one where the tide is also like a secondary antagonist in this movie. And it's, you do trade off like CGI shark for classic practical mechanical Jaws shark, but they both have their flaws, and they both minimalize the visual aspect of it when they can to kind of build the tension and the suspense. But what a great film, man. I really liked this one.
That is a good one. I mean, like some of these shark movies, that one is one that I did see, and I was very stressed for Blake Lively. I will give her that. Damn, okay, my turn. Do I just say fuck it, speaking of shark, and just do it?
You do it.
I think I should, because I can't pick another piranha movie. I mean, Then again, 47 Meters Down really did have me stressed.
That's a good one.
That one really did have me motherfucking stressed. You know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to do 47 Meters Down. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do Jaws. I'm not. I'm going to stick to my morals and stick to my things. I'm going to be unconventional, have fun with my list. 47 Meters Down, let's talk about it, okay? That one had me really stressed. I watched it recently for the first time, and it has an ending that was kind of mind-blowing for me a little bit. I was like, oh, wait, I wasn't ready for that little twist. And it basically taught me that when you go on vacation, and you know how they do like those little, like those travel packages, like those excursions, save your money, guys. Don't do anything fun and adventurous like that. You know what I'm saying? We see a lot of that even here in Miami, and like, you can't pay me. I just don't do it. It's not really worth it, and you might find yourself in this movie. And well, it's not a good time. So the movie's fun, not the situation. I'll give you that. So yeah, I'm gonna pick that one. That one left an impact on me for sure.
It's a solid choice. Or doubling down on 47 Meters Down.
There you go.
47 Meters Down is a great shark movie. And I could go with a shark movie again just to give us a clean shark round. But I think instead, I'm going to go with Crawl, because we talked about hurricane season, talked about Florida. I think in the last round, Sean, you picked Lake Placid. So we have a lot of gator and crocodile representation here. But Crawl is such one fantastic movie. It's suspenseful. It gives you characters to really root for. There is a dog that is precious as fuck who will have you stressed. But the idea of colliding natural disaster that typically falls within the summer months or very like early fall, if you know about damn hurricanes canceling Spooky Empire a couple years ago. But this movie really, really meshes ambiance really well with like the environment, while also just being a vicious creature feature. There are scenes in this that I still think about every time it rains outside. And actually, now that I live right near the fucking Everglades, it hits a little bit different on top of that. So there we go. Crawl from 2019, The Shallows from 2016, and 47 Meters Down from 2017. And as we go into the deep cuts, I believe I kicked this round off again. Really difficult here because I could go with ruining everyone's life and put I'll always know what you did last summer, but I want my list to actually fucking win. So never, never. I want to go with A Town That Dreaded Sundown, but I am just so categorically against it because the murders took place between February and May. So that feels like barely a summer movie in the first place, even though it's technically eligible. We're going to go Summer of 84 because it's the only movie that I saw in here and actually really liked. Because I didn't like Hills Have Eyes Part 2. Uncle Sam is Uncle Sam. Town That Dreaded Sundown doesn't really fucking count for me right now. But Summer of 84 is that coming of age nostalgic story. It is the true crime obsessed. It's almost like Rear Window. It's almost like Disturbia. There's a lot of good in this movie, and it's not perfect. I think it could have been a little bit more exciting, but I do think it has not gotten enough watches yet.
That is totally fair.
That's one of the 2 movies on this list that I know. So this is going to be real fun. Real fun. Okay. Well, the other movie that I know that's left is it even? Yeah, it is. It's Honeydew. But
Nice.
yeah, it's Honeydew. But do I want to pick that? I don't know. I mean, it is pretty hot and it is pretty broken down. Could have been a road trip, I don't know. Let me mull it over. I'm looking at a couple of these. You see, I would have picked Return to Sleepaway Camp, but something about it being 2008 tells me either I would have loved it or I would have absolutely hated it. And I can't quite tell.
Well, you either pick a movie from my senior year of high school or in the onset of the financial crisis and the housing crisis in America. So decent movie, bad economy. Who knows? I haven't personally seen it, but I know our Discord chat is popping off because people enjoy Return to Sleepaway Camp. Interesting.
And one of our patrons, Rob, says that he hates it, which tells me that I probably would have liked it. So I don't know. Okay. I mean, there's one called Blood Beach and I'm seeing huge tits. So I don't know.
Blood Beach.
Something about that too is giving pretty good summer flick, I think. And pretty good classic.
Welcome to the Blood Beach. I don't even think I've seen that movie.
Pretty intense. This is pretty intense. You know what? I'm going to go with Return to Sleepaway Camp. Something about it tells me it's not the OG, may not even be that good. Let's just go back to camp. Okay, we've got a good camp vibes going on. My list is kind of taking a turn, but I don't care. I'm holding out strong with what I've got. I don't know. I love Sleepaway Camp, so I'm just holding out that maybe the early 2000s and the weird cliche bullshit of it all is going to be in my favor. Hopefully. Who knows?
You couldn't hold on to the 90s forever.
Couldn't. I tried, though. I tried.
Dang. Well, listen, you didn't take it, so I will. I'm throwing Honeydew on this list for sure.
It has to be yours, It kind of started with you. It started with you, so you kind of have to.
It did start with me. Yeah, Honeydew for a deep cut. It's one of those backwoods, wrong turn type of horror movies. You feel a lot of the grit and the grime and the sticky sweatiness of this movie. It's cannibalism at its best. It is disturbing. It is a movie that I'll always remember because I watched it on a plane and it was just a weird movie to watch with people like right over my shoulder, probably thinking I was a little bit disturbing. And it was infamous because I talked to Chris about this right shortly thereafter watching it, and it took forever for us to finally watch this as a podcast. But man, Honeydew, you got to throw it in there.
Sean, we will always have Honeydew as one of the things that bound us together, which I am more than happy with. You have Honeydew from 2021, Summer of 84 from 2018 for me, and Return to Sleepaway Camp, again, inexplicably for Binks, but I love that she really gave one to the people here. Now, we are going into the modern era, and Sean, the floor is yours.
We're back to the modern era. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually surprised this one hasn't come up for a summer horror movie. I'm putting Dangerous Animals on this list. Dangerous Animals, I think, deserves to be on this list. It was definitely, for last year, it was quite the performance. Unhinged performance, just absolutely wild. Very cool concept, kind of flipped this kind of shark type movie on its head. The ending, I think, is iconic. I loved every second of the ending of this movie. It deserves to be on a summer horror movie watch list.
Dangerous Animals was really fucking great.
Oh, that was a good one. He's crazy in that movie.
He's wild. He's unhinged.
Yeah, he's unhinged is the word. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at this list, and there are two movies. There are three, but three movies here that I've like rave about constantly. But I don't know if they're the right choice. Okay. It Chapter 2, we know that I love insanely. However, I'm still bitter about Sean taking It Chapter 1, and I just feel like people love It Chapter 1 more than they do Chapter 2, and even I have to say that Chapter 1 definitely has more of a summer vibe than Chapter 2, even though they both take place during the summer. So I'm not going to do it. Barbarian I just love, but I don't know about that being summer. I mean, there's just a lot of heat in there, but that's also for a multitude of other reasons, I think. I don't know. I mean, could it be that, yeah, I guess there is a brightness to a particular part in that movie in which it's giving summer, but we certainly don't love that part of the movie. So I don't want to give that vibe. So I'm going to go with the third movie that I really do love. Maybe I don't talk about it enough on the pod here, but I'm going to pick Us 2019. I love Jordan Peele. And I love Us. Now, the thing about this one that I guess kind of gives a little bit of the summer is we're seeing the beach vacation a little bit. Like, you know, we see the I don't know, like the boardwalk of it all, right? She goes into little carnival games and such. Like that gives a little bit of a different summer vibe to me. You know, it's different location, I guess. And then that aside, I mean, it's just one of the fucking best movies, right? Like, can we all say? I mean, it's just a really good fucking movie. It's weird. And I don't know. I think it kind of it tosses my list up a little bit. I think it makes it a little bit fun.
Yeah, Us is one of those movies that when we got to the end of the first round, I'm like, nobody fucking picked this. It deserves to be picked somewhere. I'm glad you took it off the board. I am going to go with something that is not going to be super popular, I would imagine. And it's probably going to be because it's also a little bit underrated. From my perspective, I think this also could have barely qualified for the deep cuts. I'm going to go with The Strangers Pray at Night. Now, The Strangers Pray at Night, does it explicitly take place during summer? But what it does do is show a family on a road trip for a vacation to an RV, a resort, like a trailer park situation, like RV rentals. And holy shit, when you get into this movie, and you have the incredible 80s soundtrack. You have the strangers before they became whatever the fuck we got in Stranger Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Before you got all of that, you got this. You had Damien Maffei as the man in the sack. And you have one of, I think, the best uses of a swimming pool in a horror movie. This movie is fucking brutal. And its ending is not the strongest ending you're ever going to see. Don't get me wrong. But when you think of just, hey, I want to watch a movie about people on a vacation and it goes terribly, this is one of the ones that you absolutely have to have on your radar. So that is The Strangers Pray at Night. That is Dangerous Animals. And that is Us from 2019. And listen, we're entering our last round. We're entering wild cards. So the movies that have yet to be picked. And I think, as I'm going through this, some tough options here. Some really, really, really tough options. As you can see, we have over 85 movies, 85 candidates that are still available. And I think I'm going to go with, in true consistency here, I'm either going slashers or road trips or a little bit of wet and wild summer with Florida. I'm going to go House of Wax from 2005. This was such a fun movie. And you know what? It's a bummer when you think of all that Paris Hilton went through in her youth and has had to exist through. And then you get the, what felt very funny at the time, version of her kill. So maybe you look back at this movie and you have different feelings on it. It may not stand the test of time entirely, but holy shit, this was so much fucking fun. And Chad Michael Murray, I don't think I've seen him in anything since this. Hey, who's to say? But I'll at least remember him for this.
It was going to be fine with not picking it the first round and letting no one have House of Wax. But the way that I was particularly excited for us to do a second round so I could actually
could
pick
grab it?
House of Wax. Literally, literally what is written on my original notes here. One of the best openings of a 2000s film is House of Wax, ladies and gentlemen. God damn it, I love that movie. It's fine. It's fine. There's other good ones here. It's
a long list.
It's a long list. And this is stressful. It's fun, but it's stressful, guys. Okay, what is it gonna be? Okay, there's some other ones that are on this list that we haven't said out loud that I think need to be said, just so that people know that they're in here, okay? For example, Rosemary's Baby is on here, which is solid fucking movie, obviously, and a classic. And you might be thinking, is it really summer? I mean, this was clever. This was a clever one because it's literally a summer birth. He's the spawn of Satan. Hello. I think The Omen is also in here too. Pretty clever. I like that shit. I like it. But you know what? Just because I'm upset and just because I'm going to say fuck it all, I'm finally going to do what everyone and their mother is probably thinking. And I'm going to pick Jaws, for Christ's sake. I'm just going to pick Jaws.
God, I thought it was not going to get picked for this whole list. It would have been a freaking tragedy even not liking Jaws.
We would have just been canceled as a show, I think. So I'm just going to pick Jaws because duh, fine. At the witching hour, finally at the end, someone did it. I'm glad that it's me. Crazy that it's me, actually, instead of you two, if anything. But
if you left it to me, it would have been Jaws 3D. Then we really would have been canceled.
Fantastic.
Dennis Quaid cocaine movie, famed SeaWorld? No, we couldn't have done that. I'm glad you took one for the team.
All right, Sean.
Man.
Last pick of the game.
The last pick. Wild cards. Part of me wants to go with old classics like Last House on the Left, but I don't know if that's the play. Probably to my detriment, but I still think I'm also trying to throw movies in here that I feel like people may not have seen that could be interesting. And I mentioned this in our Summerween kickoff as well. I am going to throw The Deep House in here as a wild card flex. So it's a pretty divisive film, I would say. I think it's gotten better ratings from viewers than it has for critics. But what I think is really interesting about this movie, and granted, I've only watched it once, so it was a while back now, but it is a movie that it takes place underneath in a lake, a house underneath in a lake, and it kind of flips the supernatural genre on its head and puts you in a different environment where you're completely underwater in a haunted house under a lake. So I think it's a great film to put on your summer horror movie watch list if you're looking for a water horror type thing, but you're trying to get something a little bit different. I think this is a good pick.
I am absolutely floored you didn't go with The Devil's Rejects.
I know, but I'm also trying to build, the right. Evil Dead was the one that I feel like is the least of the summer movies in my list, but I just had to put it on there because it's so solid. Evil Dead 2, so solid.
And someone made a comment about that in the chat. That's true. Like Evil Dead gives actually more fall vibes because of the leaves and just the overall ambiance, I guess, of the cabin, maybe. But it also gives summer in the way that there's a lot of sweat happening and a lot of yuck and a lot of heat and a lot of I want to bathe, So there's that. I want to say, though, Sean, a lot of the picks that you have on your list, like I'm jotting them down. This is going to but actually between the two of you, I'm like, let me jot these down. As it turns out, your guys' lists are going to be the ones that I'm watching this summer. That's the gag.
Nice.
Listen, we're here to educate the people on Summerween, and I think with that, it's time for us to review our final rosters. So we'll go one by one. I'll share mine, Binks, you'll share yours, and Sean, you'll share yours. And listener, remember that you're going to be voting on whose roster, whose lineup, whose list is best. So for my options, we have Crawl from 2019, Deep Blue Sea from 1999, Fear Street Part 2, 1978. Friday the 13th, 1980. House of Wax, 2005. Midsommar, 2019. Sleepaway Camp, 1983. Summer of 84, 2018. The Burning, 1981. The Strangers Pray at Night, 2018. Tourist Trap, 1979. And X from 2022.
Pretty solid, pretty solid. Okay, well, my list goes as follows. We've got 47 Meters Down from 2017, Addams Family Values from 1993, Anaconda, 1997, Bodies, 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 2022, Hell of a Summer, 2025, I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997, Jaws, 1975, Piranha, 1995, Return to Sleepaway Camp from 2008, The Evil Dead, 1981, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974, and last but not least, Us from 2019.
Solid lists. Definitely some solid lists. Here's what I have for you. I have Dangerous Animals from 2025, Deliverance, 1972, Evil Dead 2, 1987, Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, 1986, Honeydew, 2021, It Chapter 1, 2017, Just Before Dawn, 1981, Lake Placid, 1999, The Beach House, 2019, followed by The Deep House, 2021, The Lost Boys, 1987, and The Shallows from 2016.
Absolutely incredible stuff. I think if you look at my list, I like slashers. Binks likes a lot of different stuff. And Sean likes houses. That's, I think, what we've come to see here. Folks, you have the opportunity starting on Friday, the 24th of July, to vote for which of these lists you think is the top of the top, the creme de la creme, the best of the best of the summer horror movies. We're going to announce the results of that vote in an upcoming Summerween episode. Thank you all for hanging out with us so far. Again, if you want to get more from the show, you can visit us on patreon.com/hackerslash, get access to the live recordings. You can join the Discord as well. And you can also jump into our subreddit. We're going to drop some links where you can actually find this list and build your own best summer horror list. But until next time, ta-ta!